I'm Adam Lugsch-Tehle. I'm an existential and a lifestyle coach, and I have a question. Have you ever found yourself constantly feeling guilty or ashamed, just tired of punishing yourself for every single mistake that you make? Well, if that resonates with you, then today's topic and the tool might precisely be what is needed. We're going to embark on a journey of self-discovery and at the same time healing. We're going to discuss why beating ourselves up is never the right answer in recovery or any setting. It's generally disheartening how many people live under that cloud of guilt, shame, frustration, self-doubt. It's just constant, that negativity, that feeling of defeat, that helplessness when it comes to their personal journey towards recovery. But have you ever just stopped and considered why? Why does this approach seem to never work and facilitate true growth and recovery? Why does that mental flagellation leave us almost stuck in that loop rather than propelling us forward? Let's consider just a slightly different new perspective on healing. It's going to bring us ultimately to our solution. That solution is going to be self-compassion, but how do you operationalize self-compassion? Well, just imagine for a moment that life, that feeling of defeat and hopelessness, they no longer dominate your emotional landscape. And instead, those feelings of love and compassion towards yourself and others really become the bedrock upon which your path to recovery unfolds. Well, that sounds promising, right? But no one ever really tells you, how do you operationalize something like self-compassion? So that's what I want to do. I call it, in the heroic community, flipping the switch. Others call it checking in with my higher power in a recovery setting. Either way you look at it, it's a 4-step process, and it works for me every single time. So step 1 is reflection without judgment. So you're just going to pause and reflect. Picture yourself saying something internally like, I'm having this negative or judgmental thought about this. You're just going to observe, no judgment. Step number 2, you're going to separate the reasonable from the unreasonable in terms of thoughts. So think of it as almost like you're putting on a pair of glasses, and they give you that clarity just to see what's truly important and then to see what's kind of noise. The way I think about it is, yeah, I can see why that's annoying or unreasonable or whatever, and then I'm going to paint a clearer picture of the other side. I see. That could also be true for that person because, et cetera, et cetera. It reminds me of the parable of the 4 blind men and the elephant. And I always think about the point of that is that every single one of the men, they're seeing different aspects of the truth. At any given point in time, we are in touch with only partial truth because there's always another perspective that can expand our understanding. Well, step 2 is about getting deeply curious, even almost fascinated, to see what's going on. Find that other perspective. We're trying to see the elephant from as many angles as we possibly can, knowing that we are still likely never going to see the full elephant because we know that there's always more to discover. Next, step number 3, seek guidance. Having begun to kind of separate fact from fiction, we're going to turn to our higher power and we're going to ask, now that I see where I am, what would you like me to do here? And I want you to just wait. And in this step, I want you to make the presumption, namely that the here and the now is going to change, and it changes from moment to moment to moment. So at this moment, we're not asking for like the master plan. We're simply asking for the next step in this moment. And then it's going to change again, right? Finally, the 4th step, I want you to act on that guidance. At this point, your higher power, creator, universe, whatever you want to call it, it's going to guide you towards a different pathway. For me, I see there's 3 different ways. Like, Adam, I got this. Just relax. Don't worry about it. A second might be you need to change subtly a particular behavior on your part. Or a third might be, because it often happens in relationships with other people, my higher power might say something like, Adam, it might be time for you to communicate something with this other person that happens to be involved in this situation. Whatever pathway the higher power, creator, universe is offering you, trust that guidance. Recognize that it's vital for healing and it's vital for growth, because by practicing self-compassion and doing it consistently, you can start to transform the mindset, right? Enabling resilience, empowerment, positivity, self-support, courage, and you're going to lower the gain on those negativity and feelings of defeat. So it's time to face those inner demons, but to do it with compassion and understanding, using the tools at hand. So there you have it. We explored how detrimental the cycle of self-punishment can be, and it can be particularly grueling during a recovery process. And then I introduce, in some ways, somewhat of an alternative approach that I call self-compassion, flipping the switch, checking in with your higher power, reflection without judgment, separation between what's reasonable and unreasonable in terms of thoughts. Seek guidance from your creator, your higher power, your essence, God, and then act in accordance with that set guidance. And we can truly begin our journey towards deep, fulfilling recovery, filled with love, filled with compassion, filled with understanding, rather than filled with shame and regret. So are you ready? Are you feeling more prepared to fully embrace and operationalize self-compassion, to really break free from those negative cycles? Because it's high time. It's high time we unlock our true potential and find fulfillment. Let's embark on this journey of recovery together. And if you're ever in need, just remember, there's always help. Whether it's reaching out on a social channel or resources available that are online, tons of support groups that are formed by people just like me and you, sharing our similar experiences. Remember, change is going to take time. It happens with small steps, and it's okay to ask for help all along the way. And as I always like to close, here's to living unstoppably free together today.